The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Well, we're going to start out here looking at the DAX like we usually do each morning. We're going to look at the daily here because I wanted to give you an example that people ask about all the time, and that is the fact that we have a daily pattern, and do we see these same patterns on different time frames? And we certainly do. And what I'd like to do is to show you what happened last night in the DAX. You'll notice it's almost the exact same pattern that you're looking at here. If you look on the far left there, back on the 13th of October, that's when we were making that 382 retracement. And as you can see, we went up to the exact 1.27. And then over the last 4 days, we made a perfect ABCD correction in perfect format. And that's really what made the stock market in the E-mini turn last night, because as you recall, we were looking for this market to get down to this level. I believe this is the level we were looking at. Hold on here one second. I want to make sure I get the right one here. Where is it? Here it is, right here. If you'll take a look here, these were the targets that we were looking at in the S&P on this half-hour chart, and we did hit the low last night was exactly 2116. And remember, we were expecting a P-index date to be yesterday, so that's very, very close. So I'm expecting a rally here today. It's a Friday. It's in a down week, so anything could certainly happen. But if we get below, if we should get below 2100, breaking below that 1.618 expansion, then you'd be looking at something that would be a whole lot more ominous. But right now, I think we have a possibility of a bottom coming in here, but we'll have to let the market tell us if it's going to do it or not. Now, I wanted to spend just a little bit of time here from my good friend Larry Williams. He always sends me out some great stuff, and I wanted to share it with you. These are some of the rules that he likes to use personally. And the first one, of course, is you don't trade the market, you trade yourself. We've always said from the works of Mark Douglas that the market is basically, when you're looking at that monitor, you're looking at a mirror. So remember, you have to understand yourself, before you can actually do any trading. From the words of the great Chinese philosopher Sun Tzu in The Art of War, they say, if you know your enemy, you're very powerful. If you know yourself, you are omnipotent. And so you want to be able to understand what's going on in yourself. The other one is really important, and that is don't trade more than 3 trades at a time unless you're doing some type of automatic trading. It's really hard to concentrate on anything more than 3 trades. I can't do it. When I usually get into 5 trades, I usually make 2 mistakes. So just keep that in mind. And learn the conditions that move the market. That's one of the things that we try to talk to you here about here at TFNN. Myself, John Logan, Basil Chapman, Steve Rhodes, David White, Andy Hecht, and Tom and Tom and Tommy. That's what we try to do, is to give you an idea of how some of these swings move around, because they're just probabilities. That's really are. And remember that being a successful trader is a combination of 2 or more of these elements. So you have to have, it takes time to be a trader. Usually it's a couple years in order to get it up, and we'll see what's going on. Very good. Yes, you're correct, Gator. It hit spot on at that 135 bottom. That was exactly what we covered in the webinar. In fact, we've had some really good responses from that. Finally, find a strategy that fits your emotional threshold. Everybody's a little different. Some people like to trade 5-minute charts. Some people like hourly charts. So you must identify that time frame that you're working on. And remember, you must master the art of humility, because if you don't, the markets are going to learn to teach you humility without anything. And finally, one of the biggest reasons why people lose, besides being just ignorant of what's going on, is they overtrade. they'll put on 10, 15 trades a day. That's impossible. Nobody can do that. Computers possibly can, but a human being at this stage in the game, they're certainly not able to do that. So these are things that we get from Larry Williams, down in the St. Bart's. I know he's at St. Croix. Yeah, he's in St. Croix, down in the Virgin Islands. So, but he's been around. I've known him for 51 years. I met him in 1965, and he is truly one of the real masters of this business. Okay, now I would like to know. I'd like to mention that we've had a position on that we've recommended to the folks here, just to hear it here in the room here, because we had several people, that like to trade the hog market. I've had several people email me about this position that we're looking at in hogs from our good friend Rich Anderson. He was supposed to be on today, but unfortunately he's been detained and he's not able to get to his computer. But you'll notice that we had this big ABCD correction in the hogs. Once hogs went below 46 cents a pound, that was below the cost of production. And now you'll see that we've had the same type of rally that we had during the first 2 weeks of August. We've rallied we have rallied 6 cents in hogs. So this should be the first spot where hogs should start to sell off, because this is where you want to watch it the next time, is when it backs off. Now, these are December hogs, and here we are coming into November 1st. So what we're going to have to do is to switch over to the February contract or the April contract to get an idea what the pattern is going to look like. And believe me, the April contract doesn't look anything like this at all, because it's trading up in the 50s. In fact, I think it's pretty close to 60 now, because they already know that when you get to April, the hogs are not getting anywhere near the cost of production. So these are one of the factors that we're looking at as we walk through this. Now, another trade that we were thankful that Rich was talking to us about was the cattle market. This one, you talk about a market that is beautifully harmonic. Take a look at this, folks, over the last 4 months. You noticed you had a 12-day rally back in July, and then you had a 1.618 expansion to the downside. Then you had another 12-day rally into September. You had a 1.27 expansion to the downside, and what we've done now is have another 12-day rally. And you notice there's a downtrend line that is drawn here. Basically, it shows how these parallel channels line up. So that would say that we're getting ready to see cattle back off from this level right here. So if cattle are correct, and if they get above that 107 level, then that would tell you that this thing is probably changing, and we're starting a whole new bull leg in cattle. But right now, this is nothing more than equal bear market rallies, and this is something that technically, if this is what you're looking at, you should pay very, very close attention to it, because if this is correct and we do back off a little bit, this could be the time where you get your best possible entry with your lowest possible risk in the cattle market, and that's the ideal thing of what is going to happen. You'll see what's going on. Jay, you don't have to worry about that. That's not going to happen, Jay Bird. That's a non-event, my friend. Nebahachi, as Tonto would say, the sidekick of the Lone Ranger. Nebahachi, never happened, never happened.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, we're going to switch gears here for a second and take a look here at the Australian dollar. This is something we were watching last night and again early this morning when the GDP number came out. We went down to the exact number at 75.57. We're only trading about 20 pips higher than that right now, but that is a completed Gartley pattern. That has just about everything you could possibly ask for. You've got three really nice ratios, including, the ABCD pattern. So this is one that looks, very, very interesting. Now, we've had a question about the cattle trading that HRC did about 20-some years ago. The broker on that account was a guy that I knew in Chicago, Red Bone. He was a broker for Refco. One of his largest accounts, of course, was the people that Tyson Foods out of Arkansas. And Red, after all this thing was over, he was an expert fly fisherman, and he was found dead in a 1 foot of water while he was fly fishing. And he was incredibly physically fit. So unfortunately, he had a accident while he was fly fishing, but he was the broker on it. You've heard stories that it was $500,000, from $5,000 to $500,000. As I recall, it was only $100,000, and I was interested in that during the time because, there was a lot of, stuff going on that someone could take $5,000 and in just a few months make $100,000 in options, which it's tougher to make anything in options, let alone in cattle futures. So I believe the figure was 5,000 to 100,000, and of course she no longer traded after that. So she must have just had one great seance of what was going to happen to the cattle market, much like what Rich Anderson does all the time for us here. I should ask Rich about that. He would probably know more about it, than anybody. So we'll see. What's going on, with these things that we look at. Now, we want to take a look here at the the Treasury bond market, folks, because we are really getting into dangerous territory because we hit the almost hit the perfect 61% retracement last night in the Treasury bonds. We should be in a little bit of a bounce mode from here. As you recall, we were watching this 6109 level. We got very close to that last night. If we took a look at the German Bund, which also is, one of the larger traded things in the world, we're looking at a very similar situation in the German Bund, hitting some really nice spots. So we'll take a look at that. Oh, we've got a caller from across the pond over in Singapore. William, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Pesavento. Thanks for picking up my call.
Well, I had no choice, William. They made me answer the phone.
Maybe in future they'll look at my number and say, okay, we shall not answer this call. Okay.
What can I do for you?
Actually, I'm always like to ask about gold, and
Sure.
I'm trying to learn, follow your ways, Gartley's, and butterflies. And I'm not sure whether I got it correct. That I noticed that at this spot, just, the spot of 60 minutes, just around this point, we have one Gartley and Gartley buy and one butterfly buy patterns. It happened at the same time.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we had some major support down here between the 1262 and 1258 level in the gold. I really like this particular pattern because it's the second time we've had this type of correction. We had one between the 9th and the 14th of October. Now we're having one here at the end of the month. They're almost perfectly equal. So I'm friendly to the gold market here and also to the silver market. I think they've got a chance here to go higher.
So if we have these two patterns happen at the same time, the same spot, could you say that chances is a strong rebound to the upside?
Yes, you certainly do, because you have perfect symmetry, and we always believe that the markets do what they've done in the past, and so it's just repeating what it did back in the middle of October. And so this is a type of pattern that you don't know if it's going to work or not, but you have everything there that you could possibly ask for. You have very good symmetry, you have good ratios, and you have some nice ABCD patterns. So that's exactly what we look for with pattern recognition.
Yes, I noticed that we have, very nice, the Fibonacci ratios, all quite perfectly, nice inside there. So I thought maybe this could be the reason for, the strong rebound after it hits the 1262, right?
Yes, that's where I think it's not very strong yet. It's only up $4 or $5 from there, but it's a start anyway, which is a good sign. Now, we have a question from one of our listeners here in the den. How is the real estate market in Singapore, the city of the lion? How is that over there? Is it still expensive?
Actually, we have corrected, because of the government measures that actually, try to prohibit some speculation, in our market for the last few years. And it actually has done quite a good significant part of it because the price has come down. But the last quarter or so, we do see some buying in on the real estate markets. Whether this is going to be the bottom, I think maybe it's still early to tell because it all depends on government measures. But so far, we do see that the measures really quite effective to bring down the prices so that it won't just crazy go higher. But I guess could be yeah.
What is the average cost of, say, a two-bedroom condominium place over there?
It depends also on whether is it in the suburban areas or
just in the suburb, in the suburb, just a normal place, not the fancy places, of course, but just a normal place.
I think it could easily fetch over $1 million.
Wow, that's still pretty expensive.
Yeah. And unless you're talking about there's a kind of semi, what you call the executive condominium, then it was still around between 700 to 800,000. You can get probably one there, but that is a semi, condominium is not fully, private. Right, government helps to build it. It's what we call executive condominiums there. So, and that actually will cost around 700 to 800,000. In fact, some of the
Okay.
the government flats, some of the good ones were selling almost coming to 800,000. Yeah, so I think prices is still not considered very cheap, but at least it has come down a fair bit. We do see some kind of auctions that's going on for the last half a year to 1 year. There are some who have been buying one party have been buying a few just to speculate. Those are being hit, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you for calling in, my friend, and may God bless, and make sure you have some Duran when it comes out, okay?
Yes, definitely. We'll be preparing for you, and Sarah too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will. The king of the fruit. Okay, thank you, William.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Okay, folks, I posted the chart of the E-mini showing you the importance of this pennant that we have going on here and the importance of that low at 21.15 that we hit last night. If we break below that, that means we're probably going to accelerate to the downside below 2100. So keep that in mind as we come into this next section of the TFNN show today. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're opening the market this morning. We had a GDP figure come out. gross domestic product, which is usually revised at least 2 or 3 times before the final number is known. We had a great deal of support coming in here in the S&P at this 2115, 2116 last night. The exact low was 2116, right on the money. So as long as we stay above that, we should be in for a little bit of rally. As we've mentioned several times, and we posted several times, and we'll might as well do it again since we're talking about it, and that's that there should be a Bradley date coming in here. We had a P-index date yesterday, so we should be in for at least a 4 or 5 day rally here in the market. Whether it's going to be very much or not, we'll have to wait and see what happens, because we're having a lot of lack of volatility in the market now. We're having good volatility in the foreign exchange markets, as we know, but we're not having any volatility in the stock market. It's just getting worse and worse. And believe me, folks, that's because it's such at a historical level. This could really be something very ominous, because if the market starts to sell off and people want to sell, you have to remember that old adage is that you call up your broker and you say, I'd like to sell, and the broker says, to who? Because there's no buyers because of lack of liquidity. But, we have had a big run here. Whether there's going to be much of a correction or not will have to remains to be seen. But we do know that the Bradley model has been working well. Even though it hasn't broken very much, we are still in a situation where it has a negative bias, all the way through the spring of 2017. I get asked every day by friends and also by our folks here in the chat room at TFNN, and then also by email, what am I looking at for the election? Folks, I'm like you. I have no idea what's going to happen. All I see is this is the craziest thing I've seen. In all the years I've been watching this stuff, we've never had anything like this, because we have someone who doesn't play by the rules. He's a non-politician. That might be, a very, very good thing in retrospect. I did hear something this morning that was rather funny. The CNN did a poll of teenagers at several high schools across the East, and it was a landslide for Trump. For teenagers. Can you believe that? That ought to tell you how bad it pretty much be. The people say they're comparing this to Brexit. Mike in the room, the Brexit was really strange, because I was in London in May, and I was with one of my very, very dear friends, one of my very best students. He lives just north of the city. And I spent 4 full days with him, and he really understood what was going on with the Brexit. He told me from the very beginning, he said, Larry, it's not even going to be close. He said it's going to be a landslide. And the voting, and they bet on voting, or they bet on whether 2 flies are going to land on a watermelon versus 1 fly. So when they have a vote to come up, they bet on all that stuff, and it was 8-1. So you can stop and think, we're here we're looking at one time, I believe it was 4-1. Trump, but now I believe it's 2-1, but you can't make a bet because Las Vegas is not taking any action. They're not getting interest on either side of the thing. So there's no betting here. There might be something online, but not at the bookmakers' places in Las Vegas, the major places. So whether that means anything or not, I don't know, but surprises always do happen. We can remember 1948 when the New York Times came out and said Dewey wins, and Dewey did not win. Dewey went bye-bye, and Truman was the winner. So, that's the main thing. But I believe I really like this idea of draining the swamp, folks. We just have a little too much lobbying and stuff going on some of these things. And when you've got an Obamacare bill that is 26,000 pages long, give me a break. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, was it 2,900 or 29,000? I think it was 2,900 pages long. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And our premiums here in Arizona have gone up over 116% this year. In other words, and not only that, but the deductibles used to be $5,000, and now they're $7,000. I mean, that's just it's just really quite amazing. So anyway, that's what's going on. Let's get back to the markets here. We're starting here a little bit higher, as we should. Folks, the real key level here is just to watch the 21.15 level, because if we go below that, we're really going to have a move to the downside, substantially below 2100. So that's one of the key things, to keep in mind as we look at this. We've seen I posted the longer-term chart of the E-mini in there showing you that triangle and pennant that's up there. The difference between a triangle and the pennant and a triangle has a double bottom, whereas a pennant has rising bottoms and lower tops. That's how you define it, but it's really defined by the ratios between these things. And so if we look at the ABCD pattern in the DAX, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, which has been the strongest, it's telling us that we could be looking at, some type of a rally through here. So we'll watch this as we go through looking at the charts today. And then next week, I'm sure we'll have Rich Anderson on for sure. And also I want to have one more time, I want to have our good friend Bill Meridian from Cycles Research out of Vienna, Austria on to talk to us a little bit more about the things he's seeing in the cycles. And we're also on November 3rd, which is Tuesday, we're going to have Norm Winsky on from AstroTrend. He will be our guest, and we'll be watching it. Now, there's also, I wanted to share with you one of our good friends, Al Larson from the Money Tide guy down in he's our good friend up in Thornton, Colorado. He's shared with us his forecast for today using the tidal things that he looks at. And as you can see here, at around 10 o'clock in the morning, watch that time very, very closely. Because if we're making a high around that time, it looks like there's going to be a 2-hour time window where the lunar cycles become slightly negative. And it could offer either a positive, it could be a short sale. Now, if it's going down into that time, that just means that it's going to be a change in trend sometime around that 10:15 area. Well, 10:15, as we know, is within the window that Shane Smulyan from WolfTrader.net talks about when he watches the Federal Reserve and how they come in and do their, market forecast, but I guess they are manipulations, aren't they? But they're marketing things for the quantitative easing at around 10:30. So all of that's going to be really interesting between 10 and 10:30. And we know that, amateur hour is between, 9:30 and 10:30. So right after amateur hour, kind of keep an eye on where the market is, because that might be the turning point for the rest of the day. So we'll watch that as it's starting to move around. We are having a pretty good rally, or at least we have this morning. We're only up about 5 points in the S&P. We backed off just a little bit, just missed a 61% retracement down there at 2120. But the key figure to watch is, of course, is this 2115 level. That's the low last night was 2116. That was a perfect ABCD 61% retracement. You just can't ask for anything better technically. We saw it in the NASDAQ. We saw it in the DAX, of course. We saw it on the daily and the intraday in the NASDAQ. So that's what we're watching. 877-927-6648.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
It's 2016 and TFNN has a brand new programming lineup to kick things off. Starting January 4th, Swim Lessons by Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade will be airing 5 days a week at noon Eastern Time. Join hosts Scott Connor, Kevin Hinks, and Cindy Faber
as they host their daily options program live at noon 5 days a week with no commercials for the entire hour. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark will be moving their program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, to twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake up with Nico and Paige and start your day off right. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex will now be live Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Start and end the week with the three hosts, Tom O'Brien, Tommy O'Brien, and Daryl Martin, as they break down the world of trading binary options and spreads. For all the details on the new 2016 programming lineup, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, sponsored by Nadex. Up next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I've been asked to take a look at the VIX index, and I just did the chart, and I put it in, and now I can't find it. Boy, oh boy, this is certainly a senior moment. We're going to have to dig this up here somewhere, but boy, it has to be here because oh dear. Well, anyway, it's right at a 61% retracement of that low that we made, earlier in the week, so I don't really... give me a second here. We might as well do this. It'll only take a second. Just a second. I can do this without any trouble at all, I believe, anyway. We'll get this up here. We'll have it here in just about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5. There it is. We got it. There we go. Here we come. There we is. Now we got the VIX, and there we're ready to go. Here we go. Oh, we got a caller from Florida. One of my favorite polling places. Bill, are you there?
I'm here, Larry. And interesting, we've gone from Singapore to Jupiter. You really get around, Larry.
Well, I have friends in a few places. You happen to be one of the places, Bill. So what can I do for you today?
Terrific. Well, kind of following up on William's question, a little bit different. But so, Larry, in the patterns, I believe that time is maybe considered to be more important than price. Can you just speak to that and why time is, or what you're looking for in time versus price, and why time is more important, if in fact it is?
It is more important, and the reason for that is I believe, deep in my heart, and after looking at a lot of this stuff, I've never found the Holy Grail or anything. I just know that it has to be related to these astro things. We've watched Shane Smolian point it out to us. We've seen Al Larson point it out to us. We've seen Norm Winsky point it out to us probably half a dozen times at key spots here over this past year. And so that, and Bill Meridian from, Vienna, Austria. So time is the key. And W.D. Gann said time was the ultimate factor. But the problem is time is very elusive. We can see the patterns, we can see the ratios, but the time factor is something that we can only, what I think we have to take a sophisticated guess on. But I believe it is the thing, because when it's over, it's over. That's basically it.
But Larry, on the charts and on a pattern unfolding, I assume you're looking at, from point A to D or X to D, you're looking at so much time in between those, and that is very important to be aware of that timing.
I'm not concerned about that, Bill, because I found that if I just look at the patterns and the ratio, that's the edge that I have. And if I start to bring in time, then it becomes a little more confusing to me. And many times I'll miss a trade because I'm waiting for something to happen in time, and it doesn't. But, I have to trade price because that's what they give us on our equity run. There's no place on your equity run where it tells you that, the time is up on this. It's always related to price. So I have to use price for my entries and my exit. And so I use time in the back of my mind and try to get smart people to, give me an idea. But I basically look at the pattern and the ratios, and that's what will lead you to the promised land, because they can't hide from you. If they're buying, prices are going up. If they're selling, prices are going down. That's basically the bottom line.
Yes, of course. Yeah, but you trade what you see, not what you. Yeah, of course.
Not what you hear or think. That's for sure.
Larry,
hey, thanks a lot, Bill.
I
And don't forget,
a picture of you in your trading room the other day. You used two 40-inch screens.
Yeah, they're too big. Don't buy anything more than 32. You get a suntan if you have these 42-inch ones. They're just too big. Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it.
Don't forget, Bill, vote early and vote often.
I will indeed. Thanks,
okay.
Larry.
All right, you bet. We got a caller from Clearwater, Florida. David, are you there?
Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, David. What can I do for you?
I was wondering if you could take a look at December wheat.
Yes.
And it looks like it's completed a nice ABCD pattern up at the 418 and 80 cents, and now we're seeing a retracement. Unfortunately, I missed the trade at the buy at 400 that you had in the newsletter, and I'm really liking that newsletter, by the way. That's jam packed with lots and lots of good stuff. I'm thinking about trying to pick it up at the 618 retracement at 406.40, and I was curious for your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it's a legitimate one. I mean, you're in an uptrend because you've had higher bottoms here, you've had higher tops, so you're certainly trading in an uptrend. And if you buy a retracement, and wheat is a really great thing to trade because it's got great margin, good liquidity. It trades off the patterns really well, and it's really quite really easy to trade in my opinion, because it works off the lunar things very nicely, because they've been talking about that stuff since the Babylonians and the Sumerians in 5,000 and 7,000 BC. They talked about wheat on these stone tablets that Andrew Lowe talked about. So wheat's a good one. I like it at 406. So I think it's something you ought to take a look at. You don't have to risk more than $300 there, that's for sure.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Because I'm thinking, okay, well, what I set my stop at, and I was thinking probably somewhat under the 786 retracement at like 403. So you figure maybe you risk about $150, $200.
I'd say I would not less than 200. Not less than 200. That's a little too small, I think.
What would you set your stop at?
I would use 5 cents, $250.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it down there at the 396 level or 398 level that it made. I'd put it like at 401, because if it gets there, it's most probably going to go lower, and you don't have to be worried about it.
Gotcha. I appreciate you responding back on my email from last night. And I just want to say to the listeners, Larry does actually answer his emails, because a lot of times people say that they don't actually do that. So I really appreciate that. And looking at the soybean oil for a sec, it's got the potential to do a nice little small ABCD up to the 618 retracement at 35.77, which also has a TAS profile resistance at 35.73, 72 and change. So this might be setting up a nice little sell Gartley on the soybean oil trade. So just wanted to let you know.
And
watching that thing like a hawk.
Those numbers that John gives us on those TAS profiles are very, very important. You can see that they fit in sometimes nicely with some of these resistance points that we're looking at. But, these are all based on statistics, and he does a great job, of pointing out these numbers, and it's a big help. And, help you can get anywhere, is welcome, because, it's not an easy business to do this, because you're working alone, and anytime you get something interesting, from someone else, it's always a really big help. And that's why the folks here at the TFNN family, give so much information, and the people in the room, they really give some really great ideas, and which is very, very helpful to me anyway.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And I was telling John, I spoke with him about this topic about 3 or 4 months ago when I first started getting the task profile scanner. And I called him up. I mean, he's super awesome, too, to talk to. That guy's big time smart. But I was telling him, I was like, I was doing some research, and I ended up telling him, so you realize that your profiles tend to come in at 618 and 786 retracements. He starts laughing. He goes, tell Larry next time you call him. So, anyways, I'm telling you now, Larry, listen, thank you so very much for taking my call. It is greatly appreciated, sir, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you, John. Or David. Sorry. Okay. See you later, my friend. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a look here at the New York Stock Exchange Index. As you can see, we did make that ABCD pattern back on October the 13th. That was a day that Norm Winsky and Shane Smolian had picked as a low day. Bill Meridian had the 14th, so within that 24-hour period, we certainly had a bottom. We had a 50% rally off of the high from the equinox, and we had a 38% retracement from the high in September. We haven't gone anywhere. As you can see, that trend line that is there, that's a pretty good valid trend line because we've hit several tops along there. So if we turn and get strong in here and get above this 10,600 level, in the New York Stock Exchange Index, which would have to be a move of over 200 up points in the Dow today. That would tell us that we're most probably going to have this rally that could be formulated by the model, the Bradley stock market model. But remember, it's just probabilities. Right now, we're looking at a downtrend. We're having a little bit of an early morning bounce. Folks, the key level to watch is 2115. If we go below 2115 in the E-mini S&P, we're going to be looking at, substantially lower than the 2100 level. I believe the target level is around 2080. So that's about 40 handles from where we are right now, which would be the equivalent of over 300 Dow points. Now, are we going to get a break in the Dow 300 points? I don't know. But, if we go below that 2115, you don't want to be long, because it's going to be, pretty nasty, I would think, on the downside if we do that. So we are over critical time. We got the weekend to look forward to. And, of course, next week we have the election, which is going to be probably one of the most amazing events that we've had in a long time. It's our version of Brexit, I suppose, and we'll see how it all works out. No matter what happens, folks, we're going to make it. We live in a great country. If you've ever traveled, when you walk across that threshold where it says, "Welcome to the United States of America," and you don't get goosebumps, you're not an American, I can tell you, because every time we do it, it's always the same thing. You just feel good just about being home. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.